Hello there, my name is Jason Jensen, and this is the first part of a series called What If. Basically, a what if is a story that could have happened in Star Wars, but didn't. For example, episode 1 of What If, in this video, is what if Anakin wasn't a Jedi? How this would happen is, in episode 1, Jar Jar doesn't Padme's hyperdrive isn't damaged while she is escaping Naboo. Without a damaged hyperdrive, they head straight to Coruscant instead of stopping on Tatooine, and therefore Qui-Gon never picks up Anakin. The election of Palpatine in the Battle of Naboo play out almost identically to how it did in episode 1. The only changes are, more Gungans would die, all the starfighter pilots would die, and we wouldn't get to hear Duel of the Fates. But in the end, the Trade Federation is defeated, Qui-Gon dies, and Obi-Wan becomes a Jedi Knight. As for the Clone Wars, I'll get to that later. Now I want to focus on how Anakin's story would change. Despite being a slave, Anakin always dreamed of becoming a pilot and exploring the galaxy. Because of the Force, Anakin was very talented. He was strong, fast, and he could feel the thoughts of other people. Anakin's three greatest abilities were his excellent intuition, incredible reflexes, and his ability as a mechanic. Without the intervention of the Jedi, Anakin would probably have to wait till he was 11 before racing in the Bounty of Pod race. But when he did, he would win, finally beating Sebulba. However, Watto would get most of the winnings, because Anakin is a slave. This would leave Anakin feeling betrayed and hopeless. Anakin begins to detest slavery on a whole new level. Anakin focused all of his free time on making a scanner to detect where slave transmitters are. Every slave has a transmitter placed somewhere inside of them. The slave tries to escape, the slavers blow the slave up. Anakin had been working on a scanner for almost 2 years at this point, but now he really focused. Another year passed, and Anakin lost the boon to Eve. Anakin had thought Watto's reactions to his previous losses were bad, but Watto had been expecting Anakin to win, and had bet almost everything on Anakin's victory. As Watto's slave, Anakin was beaten mercilessly for losing and costing Watto everything he had made. To pay off his debts, though, Watto was forced to sell his slaves to a guy named Plague Lars. Plague freed the Skywalkers and hired them to help on his moisture farm. Anakin was especially helpful because he was an excellent mechanic, and he loved fixing things. Plague Lars had a son, Owen, who was a little older than Anakin, but his wife had died. Before a year had gone by, Shmi and Plague got married. Anakin and Owen became great friends and brothers. Anakin was always getting into trouble, but he gained the respect and admiration of his peers. Owen did his best to keep Anakin out of his trouble, and didn't mind being a simple moisture farmer. One night, Owen couldn't sleep. The sun had set hours before. As he lay in bed, Owen heard footsteps, a door, and Anakin's speeder bike. Owen definitely couldn't sleep after that. The next night, Owen hid in the garage. Just after midnight, the door to the garage slid open, and Anakin walked in, wearing dark gray clothing and a mask that covered his entire face. As Anakin got onto his speeder bike, he suddenly whipped around and stared right at Owen's hiding spot. "I know you were there," Anakin said. His voice sounded deep and powerful through the mask. Owen stepped out of the shadows and whispered, "What are you doing?" "It's none of your business," Anakin replied. "Yes, it is. Go back to bed, Owen." "No, if my brother is sneaking out every night, I deserve to know why." Anakin paused. "Fine, climb on. But don't tell the parents." "Trust me, I won't." Anakin flew away from the farm on his speeder bike. He slowly accelerated until they were going so fast, Owen couldn't see anything but a dark, sandy blur. After a few minutes, the brothers came to a stop right outside of a cave. As they walked inside, Owen saw several beings of various species. 2 humans, a Twi'lek, and a Weequay. There were benches and tables everywhere. Along the walls were shelves of parts. There were dozens of handheld tools and half a dozen machines. There was a mechanic droid charging in the corner. There were several work tables that were covered with wires, tools, and unfinished gadgets. There was a blaster, several communication devices, and a half-finished droid, and hundreds of things Owen couldn't even guess the use of. "These people were all slaves," Anakin said as he took his mask off. "Before Father freed me, I was working on an escape plan. When I was free, I realized that I could aim higher than just my own freedom. I'm going to end slavery forever. These are only some of the former slaves. I brought most of them to Janini. Anakin continued. Where did you get a ship? Owen asked. I didn't need one. I got a skyhopper. It's just a moon, barely out of the atmosphere. I don't need a real ship, Anakin replied. You flew to Janini in a skyhopper? Yep, well, a modified skyhopper. The engines weren't quite that powerful. Freedom fighters formed a small semicircle around Anakin. Are you guys ready? Anakin said. The group nodded. First, I need to introduce you to my brother, Owen. This is Fair, Anakin said as he pointed to a human girl with blonde hair and a single braid. She worked for Blue Hood in Mos Eisley Canteen. She's very agile and can get into tight places for us. Fair had tight-fitting leggings and a sleeveless jacket. She had a long blaster strapped to her thigh and several long picking tools hanging on her belt. She had a cloth mask that was everything but her eyes and her grip. This is Unlo, Anakin gestured to the weak leg. Unlo used to be an enforcer for the Guilty at the spaceport. Unlo wore light body armor and a scorched breastplate. He had a heavy baton hanging on his left hip and electro gauntlets. Unlo had a helmet under his arm. The helmet had a face mask, a visor, and lights on the sides. This is Lafan, Anakin indicated the boy, who looked about as normal as possible. But he gave off a reassuring, comforting, and persuasive vibe. The only thing unique about Lafan was a cloth mask that covered just the bottom of his face. Lafan worked for Guilty. He would make sure customers paid their docking fees. It could get pretty nasty. This is Olmec. Anakin gestured to the Twilight. He was a waiter at Ektop's place. Olmec was a purple Twilight. He wore a mask that covered everything between his leku and his nose. Olmec had a scar starting at his jaw and went above the line of his visor. And for everyone else, this is Owen. He's my brother. He works on my dad's moisture farm with me. Now, let's go bring freedom to the people of Mos Eisley. And that's where I'm leaving you for today. Now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments below. What do you think would happen next? Who do you think Sidious's replacement for Anakin would be? And who is the 7th most powerful Jedi in your opinion? May the Force be with you.